And thank you, Ben. Now I'm very happy to introduce, there's a new thing in the magazine for this time. We have actually a short story and we have a prose extract. Someone sent me this short story, not the guy who wrote it, his friend. I read it and I was like, wow, I have to have this in the magazine. And he actually flew here today all the way from England, from Sheffield. Here to read his short story is Nick Perry.
Bonsoir. Ça va? Big love to Lisa Marie first off for organising this. It's a pleasure to be here. I can't see anything. As you said, I've literally just flown in from Sheffield, so I've not been here long enough for you to understand me properly, I imagine. I'll speak very slowly. For me, this is a really short story about what I think love isn't, because I think love is dreams made physical, is being able to actually touch something physical and hold that close to you. And this is a story about throwing it away, not throwing it away. This is called Whole, and a couple of the characters actually stole from some of the people I teach back in Sheffield, so I'm going to give a big love shout out to all the people from my South Yorkshire. This is called Whole. There was a hole at the back of my grandmother's house. It was in a garden, right in the middle of the lawn, and even though the lawn was modest, the hole was big and black and very deep. Though how deep exactly no one could say. Put it this way, when you dropped something down it, a stone or half a brick perhaps, as they did in the beginning, you would not hear it thud at the bottom. You'd not hear it splash. I was sad when I heard that. I was desperate for it to be a well, because I had wishes to make. When word got out, people came to look. In the beginning, they came in ones or twos, but soon there were flocks. And I'm not sure when I noticed that the only people who ever came there were women. I watched them, my nose pushed up against my bedroom window, saw the mist blur the outside and then fade, revealing them below. Grandma was in the sorts of clubs and groups that tended to attract women. I thought knitting on a Monday, sewing on a Tuesday, watercolour Wednesdays and crochet every Thursday morning at 10. Friday was a day off. And though some came in the morning, most came at dusk. Dusk is easier. The kids have been read to and put in their beds, their foreheads kissed, and their duvets smooth and tucked. Lunches are in the fridge for tomorrow, the carpets are vacuumed, the bins wheeled out in the rain, and the family and the dogs have all been fed. Mornings are the most complicated time of the day. There's so much more to do in them, and so much less time to do it in. And you're tired. One day, the women began feeding the hole. They gave it offerings, tossed things inside it. Usually they had their backs to me, so it was difficult to see them. And even though it was summer, they wore coats with their collars and hoods up, so I couldn't see their faces or the expressions on them. But they came and sometimes they queued and they watched their offerings tumble into the hole. After a time, some of the things they brought were bigger, heavier. And I watched them hulking them over the garden, struggling, bearing their weight awkwardly as they avoided Gram's rose bushes and bedding plants. They were considerate, and they were determined, and they were like ants moving leaves, badly. I asked Grandma 3 times if I could see the hole for myself. I only had to ask Mother once. No, you be a good girl, Lauren. You finish your homework, Mum had said, her back to me, a head in a closet or a cupboard or a book. First time I asked Gran, she'd said, nah, dear, too boring. The second time it was too dangerous, you could fall in. And then what would we do? Weeks passed. No one talked about it in school, but then the rumours started. Break time was filled with worry and wonder and magic. It started rumbling, said Becky. I've heard there's a thing that lives inside it. I know it's not happy, it's going to come out one night soon and kill us all in our beds. One day it'll erupt, said Tom to Georgie. And Molly and Beth just shrugged. I don't think so, I said. If it was, then I think Gran would be more worried. The third time I asked her, she let me. Not straight away, though. It's just a rubbish dump, I told her. Like the tip on Evie Lane. I've seen what they put in there, been watching. From my room, it's scrap, Gran. Old toasters and kettles and that. Gran didn't say anything. She just half nodded towards the door, her eyebrows both slightly raised. And then I was out there, and the garden was bigger than I remembered, and the fence and the trees loomed high over me. And for a moment, I felt suffocatingly small. And I was cautious. As I approached the edge, and the coin I'd saved for my birthday was warm, it was sticky in my palm. I peered into the hole, which was not as black as it had looked from my room. And there were toasters and kettles in there, I could see them. And there were so much more besides. I saw tennis rackets and running shoes, ballet pumps and typewriters, computers and catalogues and tennis rackets and running shoes and typewriters, computers and catalogues and maps, old guitars and new guitars and holiday brochures and a notepad and a big blue book that would make you speak Italian in 3 weeks. And I think in the dark I saw a baby squirm, but that might have been the light. I shivered though, I remember that. I stepped closer and I threw it in my coin, closed my eyes, started to wish, but then I realised this was not a well for wishes. This was a hole for dreams. I just never knew there'd been so many here, and I could never have guessed how easily they were all thrown away.